Good day, doctor, and also to everyone. My name is Kaartiyani Krishnasamy and my metric number is 289687. Today, I want to present about my assignment on the effects of internal and external on financial risk management on the study of Lenovo Group Limited. So, the Lenovo Group Limited is a Chinese multinational technology company. It is headquartered in Beijing, China. Lenovo is known for designing, developing, and manufacturing and selling computers, smartphones, tablets, and other electronic devices. They are one of the largest PC vendors in the world and have a strong presence in the global market. Lenovo has a diverse range of products and is committed to innovation and quality. Now, let's talk about the issues and problems faced by Lenovo Group Limited. In the face of global supply demand mismatched exacerbated by disruption in the supply chain due to the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, Lenovo, a prominent PC manufacturer, experienced a substantial decline in sales for 6 consecutive quarters, initially benefiting from a surge in demand driven by the shift to remote work. Lenovo struggled with surplus inventory as market conditions evolved. The industry-wide challenges reflect in a 7% decline in global PC sales added to the complexity. Navigating this terrain required strategic agility not only to manage immediate consequences but also to develop a trajectory aligned with evolving customer needs and market forces. Adaptability to changing customer preferences emerged as a crucial concern, urging Lenovo to proactively adjust its product offering and tactics in a competitive and dynamic market. Moving to research objective. There are 3 research objectives, and the first one is to identify factor influencing internal variables in relation to operational risk. The second one is to identify the elements that influencing an external variable relationship to operational risk. And the third one is to investigate factor influencing external and internal variables in relation to operational risk. Now, let's see research issues. There are 3, and the first one is there any link between internal variables and operational risk? And the second one is there any link between external variables and operational risk? And the third is there any link between internal and external variables and operational risk factors? As per the issues and problems faced by Lenovo Group Limited, I found out that this company is facing operational risk. My exploration into operational risk within the financial sector was meticulously shaped by comprehensive literature review, prominently featuring insights from Basel Committee's pivotal report in 2005. This foundational document defined operational risk as the potential for losses stemming from inadequacies in internal processes, people, systems, and external events. Notably, the difficulty in identifying operational risk compared to credit or market risk, as highlighted by the various scholars including Whalestone in 2009, 2006, and Hussein in 2000, framed my understanding. Drawing on Merlier et al. Assertion in 2008 that conscious or unconscious processes are the main source of operational risk, the literature underscored the criticality of understanding root cause for effecting the risk management, echoing sentiments expressed by Chua in 1996. Marshall and Prusak's observation in 1997 regarding the top-down approach in identifying operational risk is highlighted communication challenges among operators, a theme further explored by Chakwete, Chigua, and Lamarckio in 2009. In my pursuit to integrate these learnings, I have selected few key ratios like return on asset, current ratio, quick ratio, average collection period, debt to income, operating margin, and operating ratio to gauge internal factors. At the same time, external factors such as GDP, inflation rate, interest rate, exchange rate, and unemployment rate in China were chosen to broaden the analysis. This holistic approach is rooted in the reviewed literature, emphasizing the necessity to comprehend and manage operational risk through a multidimensional lens, encompassing both internal procedures and external market circumstances. Now, let's move to methodology. So, as for the observation, I take 5 years of annual report of Lenovo Group Limited. So for the analysis, I use ordinary least square, also known as OLS regression, and also multiple linear regression. So the tool I use to analyze is SPSS version 27, and the dependent variable is operating margin, and also the independent variable is internal factors, external factors, and internal external factors. Let's explain the analysis. This here is a descriptive statistic table of Lenovo Group Limited. In Lenovo's financial landscape, key highlights include a mean operating margin of 2.78%, underscoring the need for consistent monitoring and operational risk management strategies. The impressive current ratio of 83.44% reflects strong short-term liquidity, albeit with some variability, urgent vigilant oversight. Lenovo's prudent quick ratio of 43.95% demonstrates careful asset management, contributing to overall financial stability. The average collection period of 52 days showcases efficient receivable management, but the standard deviation emphasizes the need for ongoing oversight. With a DTI ratio of 52.02%, Lenovo's significant allocation to debt servicing requires continuous monitoring for financial stability. The low operating ratio of 12.75% highlights efficient cost management. Shifting to China's economic indicators, the stability in GDP, inflation rate, interest rate, exchange rate, and employment suggests a robust economic environment, offering a variable context for Lenovo's operation. Move to correlation table. This is the correlation table. A highly significant and robust positive relation exists between companies' return on asset (ROA) and operating margin. The R value is 0.990 and the P value is 0.01, which is lesser than 0.01, indicating that improved profitability as reflected by an increased operating margin is extremely likely to coincide with enhanced ROA. Similarly, the positive correlation between current ratio and operating margin, which is R value is 0.842, P value is 0.037, which is lesser than 0.05, suggests that operating margin improves the company's short-term liquidity and ability to meet immediate commitments, as indicated by the current ratio, tend to rise. While there is a less significant relationship between quick ratio and operating margin, which the R value is 0.775 and the P value is 0.62, which is lesser than 0.10, the positive correlation implies that an increase in operating margin is associated with propensity for quick ratio to grow, indicating improved profitability and strengthened capacity to meet short-term liabilities without relying on inventories. Notably, other variables like average collection period, operating ratio, debt to income, GDP, inflation rate, interest rate, exchange rate, and unemployment rate show no significant relationship with operating margin. Besides that, we have ANOVA. The first one is internal ANOVA. Result demonstrate the model is statistically significant for the predicting operating margin with a p-value of 0.01 This suggests that the combination of predators, constant debt to income and ROA has a meaningful impact on the dependent variable, which is operating margin. And then let's move to the external ANOVA that indicate that the model is not statistically significant for predicting operating margin with a p-value of 0.729. This suggests that the combination of predictors, which is exchange rate and GDP, does not have significant impact on the dependent variable operating margin. And the last one is internal and external both ANOVA. This result reveal that the model is highly significant for predictor, which is dependent variable operating margin, as indicated by the p-value of 0.0001. This underscores the statistical significance of the relationship between independent variable, which is ROA, and the dependent variable, which is operating margin. Other than that, we have model summary. The adjusted R-square in the model summary in the internal data specifically for the debt to income and ROA, the independent variables, is 0.980. The high adjusted R-square of 0.980 suggests that 98% of the variability in operating margin is effectively captured by the included independent variables. So let's move to the external model summary data. The negative value here indicates that the model might not be appropriate for explaining the variability in the dependent variable, which is operating margin. In the context, a lower non-negative adjusted R-square would be more desirable. The negative value suggests that after adjusting for the number of predictors, which mean independent variable, the model is not effective in explaining the variance in operating margin. Therefore, the model which is before the internal model with the independent variables of debt to income and ROA which has a positive adjusted R-square is likely more powerful in explaining the independent variable, but it's only for the internal model summary. And this case also happened to one of the study that I've read through for this to refer to this assignment. So now move to internal and external model summary. The high adjusted R square of 0.974 indicate that 97.4% of the variability in the independent variable of operating margin, which is the operating margin, is effectively explained by the included independent variables. In comparison to other models, the adjusted R square value suggests that the model summary with return on asset as an independent variable is particularly powerful in capturing the explaining the variance in operating margin. Last analysis and not the least one is coefficient analysis, coefficient table here. The coefficient analysis for the operating margin in the first model, which is internal data, reveals that return on asset is the most influential factor indicated by its high standard coefficient C of 0.934. This implies that an increase in ROA significantly contributes to a positive impact on operating margin. Efficient asset management as measured by ROA, return on asset, is crucial for Lenovo's financial performance. On the other hand, the debt to income shows a smaller influence with a beta of 0.114, suggesting that a relatively minor impact on operating margin. While it is a part of the model, its significance is less pronounced compared to return on asset. So this finding of internal coefficient table underscore the importance of strategic asset utilization in optimizing profitability for Lenovo, aligning with established financial principles. So now let's move to the external coefficients analysis. The operating margin model with GDP and exchange rate as independent variable reveals their significant influences. GDP exhibits a noteworthy negative impact with a beta of negative 0.737, indicating that the decrease in GDP correlates with the reduced operating margin. Exchange rate also shows a negative influence with the beta of a negative 0.601, suggesting that a decline in exchange rate is associated with decreased operating margin. This external coefficiency data underscore Lenovo's sensitivity to broader economic condition with contractive GDP and unfavorable exchange rate movement, posing potential challenges to its financial performance. This aligns with the economic principle emphasizing the critical link between microeconomic and indicator and also corporate financial health. And now let's move to the internal and external both data of coefficient table. In the analysis of coefficient for the operating margin with the model of return on asset as the only independent variable, return on asset emerged as the most influential factor with a beta of 0.990. This high standardized coefficient indicates that increase in ROA significantly contribute a positive impact on operating margin. So, as I said before, it will efficient asset management as reflected in the ROA plays a crucial role in optimizing Lenovo's financial performance. The finding aligned with the established financial principle emphasize that important of Lenovo to be effective as to have an effective asset utilization for sustained profitability. The conclusion is in the study of operational risk in Lenovo Group Limited, 3 regression models were utilized to examine internal and external factors influencing operational risk. The external components model incorporating debt to income and return on asset, which is ROA, exhibited a robust explanatory power, explaining 98% of variability in operating margin. Notably, return on asset emerged as crucial factor with a coefficient of 0.759, indicating a positive association where a 1 unit rise in the ROA corresponding to 0.759 unit increase in operating margin. The statistically significant t-value of 11.450 underscores that significance of return on asset in impacting operational risk. Internal variables like debt to income lacked statistical significance, suggesting an inconsistent link with operating margin. External factors represented by GDP and exchange rate coefficients showed non-significant association, implying limited consistent influence on operational risk. This finding underscored the pivotal role of internal financial metrics, particularly return on asset, in managing and understanding operational risk for Lenovo's operation stability. Finally, now let's talk about limitation. So this study relied on data spanning 5 years from 2018 to 2022, just 5 years only. So as a result, the amount of data available is similarly restricted. Because I only researched on one firm and the breadth of the study is very limited. Last but not least, let's focus on the recommendation that I would like to give to Lenovo Group Limited based on all this data. So, Lenovo Group Limited should focus on internal financial performance metric as more reliable predictors of operational risk. They should considering the statistical insignificance of debt to income and external factors like GDP and exchange rate. Other than that, they should give a top priority to measures enhancing return on asset, such as increasing operational efficiencies, optimizing resources allocation, and boosting asset productivity to mitigate operational risk and promote sustainable company operation. Besides that, They should implement a proactive strategy monitoring and adaptation aligned with internal KPIs so they to ensure effective risk management and operational stability. Furthermore, they should acknowledge the limited impact of macroeconomic variables on operational risk, prompting a concentrated strategy emphasizing internal financial performance and health for significant risk mitigation techniques. Other than that, they should conduct routine stress tests and scenario planning to evaluate Lenovo's resilience to unfavorable economic situation and ensure proactive risk management, especially operational risk management, in line with the highly significant return on asset factors. So that's all from me. Thank you so much.